In 2004, Eric Ries was the CTO of a Silicon Valley startup called IMView. IMView's vision was to create a new online product that would allow users to build 3D avatars and interact with friends using their existing instant messaging networks. Their product would combine 3D gaming and instant messaging, and Eric and his team had complete confidence in their new business product, and they put in 6 months of effort to integrate existing IM services into their platform. On launch day, they eagerly waited for thousands of people to download their products, but no one downloaded it. Trying to figure out what went wrong, Eric invited his target customers into their office and asked them questions as the target customers interacted with their products. What Eric and team figured out was that their assumptions about what the customers actually wanted were completely wrong. People didn't want to use existing IM networks to invite their friends because they didn't know if the product was cool or not. However, people were willing to install a new instant messaging service that would allow them to talk with strangers using their 3D avatars. That meant 6 months of effort integrating existing messaging services into the platform was a complete waste. Eric was frustrated about the fact that IMView lost 6 months of work building something nobody wanted, but thankfully he learned what his customers actually wanted before the company went bankrupt. However, that got Eric thinking. Did he really have to waste 6 months of hard work to learn what his customers actually wanted? And he quickly realized that the answer was a big no. Eric could have simply integrated one IM add-on service and shown it to a handful of customers and learned that no one wanted to use it. And as Eric thought about his learning, he realized that his approach to building an innovative product was fundamentally wrong. His focus shouldn't have been on executing the perfect plan they had put together. His focus should have been on learning what his customers actually wanted as quickly as possible. Instead of building products that he or his team thought were innovative, he should have been deploying minimum viable products. You see, a minimum viable product, or an MVP for short, is a product made with a minimal amount of effort and cost that is used to test specific assumptions around the validity of an idea. I actually used the principles of minimum viable product from this book to launch my first ever product at 2000 Books back in 2016, and I have used the same methodology to launch 7 other products at 2000 Books. Over time, our launch strategy has gotten more sophisticated, but the underlying fundamentals are still the same. Not only that, I have helped numerous coaching clients of mine to implement the same MVP methodology to test and launch their products very successfully. So here are the steps I took to validate my idea in the quickest, cheapest, and easiest way possible. Step 1, I had to write out my vision for the 2x mental toughness course that I was trying to build. I envisioned it as a video course where people would learn the greatest mental toughness strategies from 40 of the world's greatest books on building mental toughness. The course would contain summaries of all 40 of these books. Step 2. In this step, I had to identify the assumptions I had made for the 2x mental toughness course I was trying to build. And here were some of the critical assumptions I had made. I assumed that people would be willing to buy book summaries from me just by watching my videos on my YouTube channel or listening to my podcast. I also assumed that people would be willing to buy book summaries just on the topic of mental toughness. I also assumed that people would be willing to buy mind map video summaries rather than the usual text and audio summaries. When I shared the idea of mind map video summaries with one of my mentors at the time, he said that he would never buy mind map summaries and that I should do written summaries instead. Now that really shook me up, but I decided not to take his word for it because I loved mind maps and I knew that my viewers loved my YouTube channel and the mind map videos on the channel. So I decided to test that idea instead. Step 3. With these critical assumptions, the next step for me was to validate my assumptions. So how did I go about validating my assumptions? Well, I designed a minimum viable product that would validate these assumptions. I created a sample mind map video of the 2x mental toughness course where I explained a mental toughness strategy from a great book, and at the end of the sample video, I made an offer. In the video, I told them that if they liked this mental toughness strategy, they would probably like my complete 2x mental toughness course, and in the course, they would have access to 200 such mental toughness strategies. I also told them that they would get one new mental toughness strategy every day for 90 days. I also told them that the product would only be ready a month later and it would sell for $69 at the time. However, they could sign up right now for $19 and save a lot of money. And I also told them that the price of the product will go up next week. So now is the time to invest in it. You see, I put up a very simple sales page with a buy now button. And as soon as people made the payment, they would be sent an email saying, sit tight, 2X Mental Toughness course is going live on August 15th. I did not even have a membership site at that time, just a simple sales page and a buy now button with a payment method. Step 4. In this step, I released the sample mind map video on our YouTube channel. The key for me was to measure user behavior and decide if I should pivot or persevere. I did not measure how many people liked the video or how many people subscribed to my channel as a result of watching that video. I just measured what percentage of people who viewed the video bought my course. I was looking for 1% conversion. If I could get 1% of my viewers to buy the Mental Toughness course, my test would be validated and I would go spend my time building the full product. However, if I couldn't even get 1% of the viewers to buy my product, the test would have failed and I would have to figure out what I should do next. In this case, I did get more than 1% of the viewers to buy the Mental Toughness course, and that allowed me to focus all my energy on building the product. Now let me dissect some of the key things I did while building and testing the MVP. As you might have noticed, I did not create summaries of the 40 greatest mental toughness books before trying to sell them. That would have taken me over 2 months of work, and my work could have gone to waste if no one bought the product. So instead, I sold the product before creating it. Next, I also told them that the product would not launch until a month later. That gave me the time to build out the membership infrastructure, something that did not even exist when I first sold the course. Now, this is important to do for another reason. When you sell something that you have not yet created, you create a sense of urgency that forces you to get things done, something that is hard to create otherwise. Next, I also told them that the course would be dripped out over 90 days. I did not want to have to create all 40 book summaries right away. I wanted to give myself 3 months to deliver the product while working on the business. Next, I offered the customers a ridiculous discount for signing up before the end of the week. That discount allowed them to justify buying a product that was not even ready yet. So here are the key things you must remember when trying to build your MVP. Number 1, it should be the easiest way to test your idea. My MVP literally took me 9 hours to implement, 2 hours to record a video, and 7 hours to put up a sales page. Number 2, it should be the fastest way to test your idea. How fast was I able to test my idea? Well, I put up the video around 6 p.m. that day, and I saw the first sale come in at 1 a.m. that night. And then I saw more sales come in over the next few days. So I was able to collect and evaluate the data in a matter of few days. Number 3, it should be the cheapest way to test your idea. How much did I spend on my MVP? Well, the only thing I spent was 9 hours of my time and $99 for a WordPress theme to build a sales page. So effectively, my MVP was a simple 10-minute sample video and a sales page, nothing more than that. This idea of putting up simple MVP to test your product goes against what most newbie entrepreneurs think. Most newbie entrepreneurs think that all they need to do is build a product and somehow sales will start rolling in. This is one of the biggest challenges I see with my new coaching clients time and again. They want to build their complete product before they try to evaluate if the product is something the market wants. They are in a hurry to create a product because they think once I have a product, I will be able to sell it and make money. They think that creating the product is the biggest hurdle in the field of entrepreneurship. But the biggest hurdle in the field of entrepreneurship is figuring out what is the right product to build. As Steve Blank said in his book, The Startup Owner's Manual, a startup is in search of a scalable, repeatable business model. A startup has limited time, money, and resources, and it must be able to survive and figure out a viable business model before it runs out of time, money, or resources. Once you figure out your viable business model, your next steps will be much easier. So if you are an entrepreneur, I highly recommend you buy and read this book, The Lean Startup. If you would like a one-page cheat sheet of the key ideas from this book, just go to 2000books.com/bonus and you can grab it right there. The link for downloading the one-page cheat sheet is also in the description below.